Hi everybody and welcome to class. I'm here with my apprentice, Kurt. How are you, Kurt?
I'm good, thank you.
Nice seeing you. Welcome to class.
Thanks for having me.
We are about to do a little bit of cooking right now, and we'll be making a mushroom risotto with some nice sautéed scallop. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to teach Kurt how to make that dish. Okay, so for that risotto, tell us what we need here for the risotto.
We're going to need 300 grams of rice, 150 grams of mushrooms, half an onion, some stock, olive oil, salt and pepper, and 130 grams of mascarpone.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the rice we'll be using. We're using a short grain rice here for that. This is short grain rice. That means that there's a higher content of starch in it and give more creaminess to our dish compared to a long grain rice. What they do is when they ground the skin of the rice, they get closer to the epidermis to develop more starch. Okay, so we have some mushroom here, different kind of mushroom. You know what those are? Those are your regular white button mushroom. Here we have shiitake mushroom. And here we have some
porcini mushroom.
Dry porcini mushroom. See, this is dry, this is fresh. So when we have a dry mushroom, we need to rehydrate it so it gets back to its original consistency. So to do that, we're going to put those in, and we're going to moisten it with some hot water that we have here. I have enough water just to cover them.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Should I put all the water in?
Oh, that's going to be enough. Okay. So here we're going to put that here and let it set. The mushroom's going to soften up in it. And as you can see already, the color of the water is turning because it's taking the flavor and the color from the mushroom as you rehydrate them. And we will keep that broth here, that little liquid, to cook our rice because it'll be full of flavor. Now what we need to do is cut our mushrooms. We're going to take a mushroom and show you how we process with that. Here I'm going to trim a little bit of the stem, and we're going to remove the skin from it. Why do you think I'm going to remove the skin from the mushroom?
I think to make it look better.
Yeah,
look prettier again.
It oxidizes a little bit here. So as I peel it this way, I get back to a nice color. So it's a little bit more appealing to the eye. You want to finish that?
Sure.
Okay, go ahead.
Shall I do them all?
Yeah, we'll do 2 of them. And then we'll do our shiitake. Good. So remember, when you're doing that, you're trying not to cut into the mushroom, but just grab one. I like that, just the peel. Okay. Here I have a chicken stock that's cooking. That's just reheating it. So it'll be ready to moisten our rice later on. I'm going to turn it off. It came to a boil. I keep it aside for now.
How's this looking?
That looks very well. All those trimming from the mushroom, we keep them. I'm actually going to put them into my stock and let them infuse in it. Then I will strain them out. So again, I have more mushroom flavor into that mushroom risotto. Okay, go ahead, do the last one. I forgot on the board, we're missing our Parmesan cheese. Just realized. We're gonna do like 30 grams of Parmesan cheese. Okay, very well, very well. So those are our white mushroom. But we're gonna need that again because here we're going to cut the stem of those. Our shiitake here, we remove the stem, we're not going to keep the stem. Sometimes they may be a little bitter, so I'm not going to take a chance, I'm not going to keep them for our scraps. Go ahead, if you want to do the other ones.
I'm going to slice these.
So first we're going to remove all of them, and then I'm going to show you how we're going to slice them, or should I say émincer them. Okay. So the mushroom now we're going to cut them up, thin slice. So your finger needs to be this way on the mushroom,
Okay.
and you're going to cut against them. And this we call it émincer. Émincer, to means finely. Put those right here. Go ahead.
Okay.
And you'll do the same with those, and we'll mix them together, and then we'll cook them. So actually I was doing it like that to show you, but if you're doing it, you should work more like you could have it more like that, you know?
Okay.
Huh? You don't have to go this way,
Got
this is
it.
too short. That's a great movement right here. You're rocking the blade like that. This is what you want to do when you do those kind of cut.
Now how can I, when
Here,
I get to the end here,
Yeah, you can put it down.
it's a little hard to, yeah.
Or you
this?
could have put it like that. No, I just keep going this way too.
Okay.
That will work fine. Excellent. Okay, let's put all that in there. Now we're going to do the same with the shiitake.
Okay.
And when you do the shiitake, you can take them, overlap them like that.
Multitask.
Exactly. Which is very important in a kitchen.
Right.
Yeah, let's remove those so you don't cut into them.
Same bowl?
Yeah, put everything in the same bowl. Then we're going to cook them. Okay, you're going to clean up a little bit that cutting board here.
Okay.
It's nice and organized. Excuse me. Again, here I'm taking the trimming of mushroom. I'm going to put those in my stock. Just let them infuse in it. Then I will strain them out. Beautiful. Put that here. Voilà. Okay. For the onion now. Onion, we're going to do what we call ciseler. Ciseler is to cut small little dice out of it. I'm going to start it and you'll finish it.
Okay.
I'm going to make thin slice this way here. See, as I pull out the knife,
Okay.
very thin slice coming as close as possible to the root here. Then I'm going to cut in.
Okay.
And the hard part here is to keep the onion together this way. Sometimes it falls apart if you put too much pressure, so this is why I'm really delicate with it. And now I'm going to cut into it and cut those little cubes here. Ciseler.
Ciseler.
Ciseler, yes. We're going to do all of that onion. Part of it will be for our mushroom, and the other part when we cook our risotto. Then you can put them in here. Hold on 1 second, because when you cut, you try to have nothing in the way. Like that. Okay. So when you do your onion, picture the size of your rice, and the onion should be close to that size. A little tricky. But you're doing very well. Okay.
All the way down?
That's it. You're going to stop right here.
Okay.
You're going to move those here, and I'm going to show you how you could finish that little part here. When you come to the end of the onion, it's not easy now to cut into it. But what you could do is you put it on the side now like that, and then you can peel a little bit more. And here I could cut in it again, so we don't waste any of it.
Don't waste it. Very nice. And what about this yellow piece here?
That's the center, the heart of the onion. There's nothing wrong with that. It's all good, we'll keep it. No problem. So we're using a red onion here because that's what we had in house. Now you could use a different kind of onion. It's really up to you on that. Here, put that in. Right here. Okay, so I have a question for you, Kurt.
Okay.
What are we doing exactly here? How do we call that when we get ready to make a recipe?
The mise en place.
Mise en place, absolutely.
We get everything ready.
We put everything together and then we start cooking. We don't want to start cooking our onions and then start cutting our mushroom. No, everything needs to be ready before, and when it is, then we start. We're going to check on our mushroom here. See now those, they rehydrated, they soften up. This is good. One is still a little firm, so another couple of minutes and that should be fine. We're going to cook our mushrooms now. For that, I have some olive oil here. I'm going to put a little bit on my sautoir. This is what we call a sautoir. See, that's a sautoir. And this here is a sauté pan. What's the difference? See here the side, the edge? Those are straight. So you can roll things inside. This here, the curve, so you can sauté things. Sauté pan.
Sautoir.
Good. Excellent. So we're going to strain our stock here. Let's strain the mushrooms out of it. So we have our onion.
Yeah.
What cut is that again?
Oh, jeez.
No, that's not it. Where's the word?
Ciselé.
Ciselé. Excellent.
Ciselé.
Yes, excellent. Ciselé.
Mushrooms.
Mushroom. Émincé.
Émincé.
Émincé. Good.
Émincé,
Good.
ciselé.
Yes.
Rehydrated porcini mushrooms.
Beautiful. I'm going to take that here. I'm going to remove the mushroom from here. So the mushroom here, we rehydrate them. A lot of those dry mushrooms have a lot of dirt on them still. So it's very important after you rehydrate them to be gentle when you manipulate them in the liquid, so you don't mix the dirt with the liquid. As of now, all the dirt should be on the bottom. I'm going to do what we call décanter. Décanter?
Décanter.
You may have heard that with wine, and it's when I'm going to,
Decanter.
I'm going to pour it this way, and as I get close to the end here,
See the dirt.
you have the dirt. You see that dirt right here? This is what we want to leave behind.
That looks nice.
So we have everything. You may have seen in some recipe of risotto to add some white wine into it. You can do that, there's no problem. We won't be using white wine today, but if you want to add it, no problem at all. Just make sure you use the white wine at first, and that will be the first liquid you add to your risotto when you're cooking it. You ready to cook our mushrooms?
I'm ready.
Okay, so we're going to take our mushroom, put them in our hot olive oil here, and not that hot. And we're going to cook it. Yeah, we're just straining it. Yeah, we're going to put it all in. You see, that's going to reduce to not much at the end. We're going to season with a little salt and pepper. That's the salt. No. When you salt, you want to hold it like that, like that.
Okay.
Okay? Hey, Vision. Go ahead.
Same with this
black pepper. Yes. Excellent. That's enough, that's enough. And now we're gonna give it a little stir. A little stir. And we want to cook them till they start to break down a little bit. We don't want too much color on it. So, low heat till they start breaking down. We know it's cooked. We know we are cooked when we take one, and it tastes good, and it's nice and tender. When they be close to be done, I will add a little bit of my onions to it. I don't want to start with the onions because I don't want them to be burned by the time my mushrooms are cooked. If we see it's getting a little too dry, we might add a little bit more olive oil to it. For now, it's fine. Time to add the onions.
I should continue to stir.
You can let it go like that. We can leave it, and we'll stir it every couple of minutes. It is actually a little dry, so I'm going to add a tiny bit of oil here back into it. Now here I'm not going to develop too much color, but if you want your mushroom with more color, again this is up. So with that mushroom risotto, we're actually going to do some sauteed scallops. I have some beautiful scallops here. And we're going to saute them and add them to our risotto when it's time to serve it. Here on that scallop, what is that here?
That's the muscle.
It's a little muscle that we're going to remove. See? We pull that muscle out because that's a little tough, I would say. So we just peel it up this way on all of those.
These are starting to look nice.
Yeah, beautiful. Another minute and they should be cooked. Those are dry sea scallops. So they're nice and fresh, beautiful, they're going to cook very well. If you're going to saute some scallop, I will highly suggest that you get dried scallop. Not the one that you see floating in a white liquid here. That's preservative, and it's really not a good thing for scallops. So if you were going to eat scallop, I will highly suggest that you get dry scallops. Okay. Down here, if you're making a little stock, you can use that in it. It'll be flavor if you're making a fish fumet, for example. That would be fine. Scallops here. So let me see those mushrooms here. What do you think?
They look good.
They look good?
Yeah, they smell good.
Here, try one. See if it's good. If it is, we will put them in here and we'll move on to the rice.
They're a little, I don't want to say hard, but
They need a little bit more cooking time?
Yeah.
Okay, so we keep going.
how should they be? They shouldn't be squishy though, right? They should be
We want a tiny bit of
a little crunch.
a tiny crunch in the center, tiny one. Not too much, because the more crunchy it is, that means the more water they steam into the mushroom. And when we mix those mushrooms with our rice, if there's too much water left in it, they will bleed that water into the rice, and that's the last thing we want.
You try it. Let's see.
That's going to be fine, huh?
Yeah.
I think we're good here. Yeah.
Okay.
This is what we're going to do actually. In the bottom of the pan here, you see those? Those little brown particles? Call them sucs. I want them. So I'm going to do a little deglaçage with my mushroom jus here to release those sucs onto my mushroom so I get,
What is it called? Sucs?
sucs, or foam.
That's where the flavor is.
That's where there's the concentration of the flavor on the bottom, so I'll make sure I grab that into my mushroom. Okay, put that here. Keep that on the side for now. That's the mushroom. So now that we have that, we're ready. We just have to cook the risotto. When we do a risotto and we add a garniture to it, some vegetable, we want to add them at the end. We do the risotto and then we add the vegetable to it. In a restaurant, usually we don't do the risotto on order unless we have someone who's just here for that. But usually you'll be making it as your mise en place. You will keep it a little underdone. So when it's service time, you'll take that risotto, add a little bit more stock to it, finish cooking it, and finish it with your mascarpone and vegetable and the cheese, which is the mascarpone, or also here we're going to use some Parmesan cheese with it too. So we're about to cook our risotto. First, Kurt, you're going to sweat the onions. You know what that means, sweating?
I don't know what that means.
Sweating is when we cook vegetable to release the moisture content without any coloration. That's what it means, to sweat.
We're not going to change the color of the mushroom, we're just going to...
Of the onion.
Of the onion, rather.
Yeah, we don't want to develop brown. Yes.
Right.
Because if we do, then the risotto is going to turn dark as we add the liquid. Anything brown, when you add the liquid, it'll catch that color and develop it all over your dish. So we want to prevent that. That's why we're just going to sweat them on a low heat. So you're going to put a little bit of oil here.
Okay.
And add your onions to it. You can be a little bit more generous here because then we'll add the rice. That's fine. We're going to wait 10 seconds and then you can add that to it. You have your spatula here to stir them as they cook. Right. When the onions are well sweated, we will add our rice to it. You ready? I'm just going to stir it gently. And we're going to do a tiny touch of salt right away. That helps for them to run down their water. You having a good time? You learning something?
I'm learning something.
Excellent.
This is fantastic. I think I could do this maybe at home.
You, of course. That's the
the
goal.
idea.
Yes. So now we're on a low heat, huh? Make sure we don't develop any color. If you hear that it's getting a high sear, shh, that's too high. You want to lower your heat. You're going to lower it a little bit.
Is it the low heat that is the key, or is it moving them around?
Both together.
Yeah.
But on a low heat, there's less chance you're going to develop any color. That's going to take a good 5 minutes for those onions to sweat nicely. You don't want to add the rice too early to them because at the end you will feel the crunch on those onions, and that's the last thing you want with your onions in a risotto. We forgot something here, our porcini mushroom. I should have added them to my mushroom when we were cooking them, and I forgot. So what I'm going to do with them, I'm just going to cut them up like that. I'm going to saute them quickly and add them to the rest of my mushrooms. Okay, looking good.
All right.
Nice. I think it's time now to add our rice. We're going to take our rice. We didn't rinse the rice. No need to rinse your arborio rice. This is arborio rice. Again, short grain rice. Okay. And now we stir everything together well. So when do you know that it's time to add the liquid? It's when your grains start to become translucent. You look at the edge of the rice. You look at it and it should be a little translucent. And we're getting there here. Another minute and that'll be ready for the liquid. The first liquid we'll add will be our mushroom jus from our porcini. If you add white wine to it, that will be the time to add the white wine first. And also very important, I just boil those liquid, very hot. Make sure that you use a hot liquid to cook your rice. If it's cold, it's going to take you so much time to cook it, and it's not going to be as well. This is good. We're going to add now the mushroom juice here. And when you add the liquid into a risotto, you add it a little at a time. You put a little liquid, you stir it in. You want to develop the starch of that rice. That's what's going to give us a nice creamy risotto at the end. And you're not always sure how much liquid you're going to need. So this is why you add it little at a time, and when you get to the result that you want, you know it's done. So here it's nice, you know, we'll cook it, and when there's no more liquid, we'll add 4 liters of the stock in it. And we'll do the same process till there's no more liquid.
Is it important to stir the entire time?
It's very important. If you don't stir it all the time, I mean, when you learn how to make a risotto, it's very important to stir it all the time. Why? Because if you go do something else and multitask on that and you forget about it, since it's very high in starch, it might burn on you very quick. And also, as you stir it all the time, you're going to get a more even cooking of your grain. I don't know if you had some risotto in the past and some rice was fine, but some of it were a little hard. And that's when you don't cook your risotto, your rice evenly. As you see now, it's dry, so we're going to add a little bit more. Actually, 3 liters at a time should be fine. Something else, I would not use any metal to stir the rice, because you will break the rice if you use any metal spoon. With a wooden spoon or a plastic spoon like that, which is not really plastic, anyway, you're going to be much more gentle on the grain, and the grain is not going to break. If you start breaking the grain of the rice as you stir it, then it's not going to cook evenly, as you will create small pieces of the rice that will cook faster, and the other one won't. So, again, use wooden spoon or rubber spatula. And as you can see here, it's a very gentle simmer. If it's too high, you're going to evaporate the liquid too fast, and your rice is not going to be cooked. Or you're going to need a lot of liquid. So make sure you don't want to evaporate it fast. You want the rice to absorb that liquid, and that's only going to happen if it's on a medium heat, I would say. Understood?
Understood.
Good, good.
Yes.
Yes, who?
Yes, chef.
Yes! I love that. Good. You think it's time to have a little bit more liquid?
It looks like it's got a bit. Maybe we could use another one. But I mean, it's starting to bubble up in here.
Yeah. A little bit more?
Another one, sure. And when do you know you've put your last bit of liquid in? When it's done?
When it's done. And when do you know when your risotto is ready? You taste it, and you should feel cooked.
Yeah.
If you're going to serve it right away. Now, if we were making that and serving it tonight, or later on during the day, we might want to keep it again underdone, so as we reheat it, it will finish cooking. Here we're making that mushroom risotto, but actually I will use some of that risotto to do also what we call some risotto cakes. That will be another video, using exactly the same product that we are making right now. Here is my first apprentice here. Welcome to Worldwide Culinary Apprentice.
Thank you. Do we need some more?
I think we're going to add a little bit more. Yes, absolutely. So now we look at the rice, and I can see it's not cooked. I'm not going to even try to taste it because I know it's too crunchy. I can see here it's way too white, and the rice didn't really puff any at all. So we need more time. So you don't rush a risotto. See, we've been cooking that for a good 10 minutes already, and it's going to take a good 20 to 25 minutes to be done. What do you think of that? I think I'm going to try a little bit here.
Try it, please.
And see how it is. We are almost there. You need another good 5 minutes. Here, if you want to try and see where we are at now, so you have an idea.
A little crunchy still.
See, a little crunchy, yeah.
Very flavorful.
It needs seasoning though. Later on, we finish it with a seasoning, salt and pepper. Oh, and one thing we're going to add to that, a little truffle oil. Just a little hint of truffle oil. So when your rice is almost done, and but you still need to add a little bit of liquid, you make sure you add a tiny bit of liquid at a time then. Because if you put too much liquid and the rice is almost cooked, you need to evaporate the liquid and that's going to overcook your rice. So it's very important when you know you're almost there, is just to add a little bit liquid a little at a time.
So it's a very delicate balance, right? You
Yeah.
don't want it to be too wet or too dry.
Yeah, and mostly too wet if it's already cooked, or if it's where it should be. Now when we serve it, we don't want it too dry and we don't want it too wet, but we want it nice and creamy. Dry risotto, not too good. No, you don't want it like that.
Yes,
like that.
My hand was cramping.
Okay.
Maybe I should try my left. I think when making your risotto, you're going to want to get into stirring shape.
Developing some muscle
You're
here?
developing a muscle that I didn't know I had.
See?
Right behind the shoulder. Maybe if your wife enjoys the risotto, she'll give you a massage after you've made it for her.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Try again. Tell me what you think. We want a slight little crunch right in the center. Slight. Not too much.
I think we're getting there.
Yes? Okay. So now I'm going to, we're going to lower it a little bit here. The risotto is cooked. I'm going to add my mascarpone to it to finish it. My onion and the parmesan. Stir that in well.
Will this soften up the heat?
It will. And that's going to help also to keep it nice and creamy, the mascarpone. And we'll finish it with the parmesan when it's ready. At that point, we're going to do a little seasoning. Salt and pepper. We're going to turn it up because we have a texture we want here. And if you look at that texture, you see it's nice and creamy. It's not too dry. You try that.
Oh, this is starting to look good.
It's very good. So the rice is cooked here. We're going to put that aside for a minute or two till we cook our scallops, and we're going to serve it right away. So we're about to saute our scallops. You see that my saute pan here, it's smoking hot. I'm going to add some olive oil. Go ahead, it's smoking. Let's put those in. Don't drop them so you don't burn yourself. You can hear that nice sear. It's very important. Beautiful. Alright, give me that plate here. And we're going to let it cook. Actually, we finish them because I'm French with a touch of butter. That helps also to get a nice color to them at the end. So I have a piece of butter here. I'm going to cut a chunk off and I will add that to it. Just to finish them. I don't want to add the butter now because if I add it now, by the time the scallops are cooked, my butter will be burnt. No need to shake the pan, no need to do anything, just look at it, wait to see some color on the edge, and that will be the sign to flip those scallops around. Yeah. How's that risotto looking over there?
Looks good.
See, it's set, so we'll have to add a little stock to bring back that creaminess to it. But yeah, it's nice. Ooh, and it smells delicious. Okay, let's see on the scallops here. Not enough color yet. This one is good. We're gonna flip it like that.
How do you know when your scallops are done?
Well, scallop, you don't want to overcook them or they be rubbery. You feel them on the side and they need to bounce back a little bit as you squeeze on them. They can't be too firm. If they're too firm, they release a lot of moisture and then inside they might be tough and dry.
So it's not as important to cook it all the way through?
No, scallop, you could eat them raw, they're delicious too. See that beautiful crust we created here? Nice. Okay, we're going to add that butter now. And that's going to help developing that nice color for them. I'm going to do, actually I'm going to put those on top here. Like that. And to finish them up, I'm going to take that butter and I'm going to baste them like that. Nicely. So we develop a nice color and we get that nice flavor also from that butter. Voilà. You want to try that?
I do.
Huh? Called basting. You hold the spoon this way,
Okay.
and you grab a little bit, and you bring it in.
I got you.
Like that. Then we're going to dry those. Dry them. Yeah. Then we're going to dry them on that paper towel here. Beautiful little things. I'm going to fill one. See how it is? Almost done. Another 30 minutes and then those will be perfect. You will put them then
30 seconds?
yeah, onto that plate here. And using the tongue.
Okay.
Beautiful. Okay. Nice color, huh?
Nice color.
Is that your first time cooking scallop?
This is my first time. I've eaten them plenty of times, but I've never cooked them.
So we're going to put our risotto back on here. And since it's set a little bit, it's nice and creamy still, but I want it a little bit more creamy, so to finish it, I'm going to add a little bit more of my stock here, but still warm. Stir that in. Go ahead, stir that nice inside. Finish it with our Parmesan cheese. So some people don't like cheese with the shellfish. That's a personal preference. I don't mind it. Do you mind it?
I don't mind it.
So that's why we put it in. Now if you mind it, just don't put the cheese, okay?
What about the oil? Truffle?
Yes, a little bit sprinkle of truffle oil here. Stir that well. Beautiful thing. I'm going to turn it off now because it's nice. Or it could be a little bit looser, so I'm going to add a little tiny bit more here. Again, we don't want something dry or thick. It needs to be nice and smooth and creamy. Make sure you go all on the edge here to grab everything. Yes, good. Okay, I think we're ready to plate that. This here. Going to take a little bit of our risotto, put that inside here like that. Then we're going to take our scallops and put them on display here, like this. 3 little scallops. And here we have a beautiful mushroom risotto with some dry scallops. Thank you!
Thank you. Thanks for
See you
having me.
next class.
Yes.